Welcome to Trending Unpacked, the show where we make sense of the internet's hottest conversations and cultural shifts. Today we're getting into something, it's delightful, maybe a little mysterious, definitely viral. A relationship trend that's been all over the internet. It's sparking memes, lots of talk, and actually maybe even a bit of self-reflection, which is interesting. We are talking about the black cat boyfriend. Yeah, this really intriguing label that's just kind of taken the online world by storm, and you almost always see it paired up or contrasted with its counterpart, the golden retriever boyfriend. I mean, you must have seen these swirling around your social feeds, right? These animal archetypes, people using them to describe their partners or relationship dynamics, even celebs. What is it about these specific labels, these almost like mythical internet creatures, that makes them stick so well? Why have they become this instant shorthand for, well, pretty complex human stuff?
It's funny, yeah, and it's relatable, definitely.
But I feel like it hints at something maybe a bit deeper about how we talk, how we categorize, how we see relationships now in this, super connected world.
It really is fascinating, isn't it? How these specific things just bubble up and grab everyone's attention so quickly. And these labels, yeah, they start out lighthearted, but they feel like more than just a quick meme, They've genuinely become this like shared language, a kind of cultural currency for a lot of people online. So what's really compelling for us to look at today isn't just, okay, what are they on the surface level, but why do they hit home for so many people right now? What does that resonance tell us about how we're maybe processing and talking about relationships today in this digital age? It really speaks to the power of, simple metaphors, doesn't it? How they can grab on to complex human truths.
Okay, yeah, let's unpack this then.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there are people listening who've seen the terms, maybe seen the cute cat pictures, but aren't quite sure what it really means. We need that, baseline understanding. What are we actually talking about when we say golden retriever boyfriend or black cat boyfriend? What do they signify out there online?
Absolutely. Let's start with the golden retriever boyfriend. I think that one often helps clarify things because it provides such a clear contrast for the black cat. So this online archetype, it basically refers to a partner who embodies traits we associate with golden retrievers, funnily enough. At their core, they're seen as incredibly warm, just brimming with enthusiasm often, and undeniably loyal, very loyal. Picture someone who's, often bubbly, really eager to please their partner, and very open, sometimes almost exuberantly affectionate.
Okay, so very outward, very obvious affection.
Exactly. Their typical behaviors are usually quite visible. They might be the one who greets you at the door, after work with just pure unbridled joy, genuinely excited about whatever you're doing, even if it's just chilling at home. They're often the ones suggesting fun things to do, maybe showering you with compliments or just radiating this bright, positive energy,
Yeah.
That kind of presence that just lifts the mood.
Right. The sunshine in the relationship, maybe.
That's a good way to put it. Their affection isn't subtle. It's very outward. Big hugs, lots of I love yous, maybe thoughtful little things, but all clearly designed to make you feel happy, feel cherished. They really seem to thrive on that connection, actively engaging, often the social butterfly of the pair, charming everyone. They're the emotional sunshine, always ready to fetch a smile.
Okay, got it. Sunshine and enthusiasm.
Yeah.
So then what about the other side of the coin? The black cat boyfriend. How does that contrast?
Right. So contrasting that really vibrant kind of effusive energy, you get the black cat boyfriend. This archetype is usually defined by being, more mysterious, often reserved, maybe appearing a little aloof, especially at first glance. But, and this is really, really crucial, the key nuance here, it's what separates this from just being cold or uninterested. Despite that initial reserve, the idea is that they are deeply affectionate and incredibly loyal once that trust is built. That connection is established.
Okay, so it's not a lack of affection, just a different style.
Exactly. It's a different expression. Their affection isn't as overtly displayed as the golden retrievers. Instead, they're typically quieter, maybe more introspective. It might take them longer to, fully open up, to reveal their deeper feelings. But when they do, the idea is that it's often quite profound, very meaningful. When a black cat boyfriend, according to the meme, shows affection, it's often in these more subtle, understated ways, maybe really thoughtful ways.
Like what, for example?
Well, perhaps it's a gentle touch on your arm when you're in a crowded place, just that quiet reassurance. Or maybe just sharing a moment of comfortable silence that feels connected. Or it could be a perfectly timed, kind of dry, witty comment that maybe only you really get, or a thoughtful gesture that shows they've really been paying attention to what you like or need. So like while the golden retriever might plan a huge surprise party, the black cat might just bring you your favorite coffee, just how you like it, without you asking, because they know you need that quiet start. It's that kind of subtle, attuned care.
Yeah.
They often provide this like calm, grounding counterpoint maybe to a more outgoing partner, bringing a sense of quiet strength, an observant presence, often a dry, understated humor.
Okay.
They might prefer, say, a cozy night in, maybe reading or watching something together over a big loud party. But their presence is meant to be this deep, comforting anchor in the relationship.
Wow. Okay. That breakdown makes so much sense. It's like instantly intuitive, isn't it? It really does feel like the internet just grabbed our collective understanding of, well, actual cats and dogs. The playful, eager dog versus the mysterious, maybe independent, but secretly cuddly cat, and just mapped it straight onto relationships. It works because we already have those associations, right? They're almost like archetypes already in our heads. The internet just seems brilliant at boiling down these really complex human traits, these relationship dynamics, into something super digestible and honestly kind of endearing animal analogies. It's like a perfect little metaphor machine. Yeah. But okay, beyond just the definitions, what fascinates me is how these specific labels just exploded. They didn't just like appear overnight, fully formed. It felt so rapid. What were the mechanics behind it? The catalyst that took them from maybe just a few people noticing something to this huge internet phenomenon we're all talking about now in 2024, 2025?
Yeah, the journey to virality here it's a really classic example of how internet trends spread now. And TikTok was absolutely central to that initial explosion, the platform's whole format, right? Short, visual, engaging videos. It was just perfectly suited for this kind of comparison. You had users starting to actively tag their own partners. He's such a golden retriever, definitely dating a black cat. This created this just massive wave of user-generated content.
Right. Everyone started making their own version.
Exactly. And these videos, they often used really compelling visual storytelling, like quick, funny contrasts of couples. You'd see one partner, the golden retriever, being all smiley, bouncing around, maybe playfully annoying their quieter partner with all their energy. And then maybe right next to them, or in a split screen, you'd see the black cat, just observing calmly, maybe giving a little subtle smile, or leaning into a cuddle only when their partner initiated it. This visual element, this immediate show-don't-tell aspect, made it incredibly relatable and, crucially, super shareable.
Yeah, you could see it instantly.
Right. People could see themselves or their own relationship reflected in these, 15-second clips. That sparks immediate recognition, immediate engagement. And then, of course, TikTok's algorithm, which is, its own mysterious force.
Definitely.
It just amplified these comparisons like crazy, pushed them onto everyone's For You page. So once it started getting traction, it became almost impossible not to see it if you were scrolling.
So TikTok really set the visual stage, gave it that instant gut-level recognition. But that's often just the first wave for these big trends, right?
Yeah.
How did it move beyond just the short videos? How did it solidify into something more like part of the general online conversation?
That's a great point, because while TikTok lit the fuse, other platforms, particularly Twitter or, X, now they played a really significant role in amplifying it and maybe intellectualizing it a bit, moving it beyond just the visual gag. On Twitter X, you started seeing people expanding on the idea, writing longer takes on relationships, sharing more nuanced opinions, debating what these archetypes really meant, their implications.
Okay, so more text-based discussion.
Exactly. It allowed for a deeper dive, more analysis, moving beyond just the quick visual meme into more sort of elaborate commentary. And a really key moment, something that helped cement these archetypes in the public mind, was when people started applying them to celebrities. The source material we looked at specifically mentions that example. Taylor Swift is a golden retriever girlfriend with a black cat boyfriend.
Right, I saw that one everywhere.
Exactly. And that kind of comparison provides this universally recognized reference point. Suddenly, everyone can picture the dynamic, even if they don't know the random couple from the original TikTok. It gives the archetypes a tangible, sort of real-world context that resonates way beyond just personal anecdotes.
Makes it feel more real.
It does. And then, the mechanics of Twitter X retweets, quote tweets, comments just facilitated this rapid spread and debate. It turned these labels from just a meme into a genuine cultural talking point. It allowed for that deeper analysis and a much wider reach. That jump from personal observation to public touchstone is absolutely crucial for a trend to stick around.
Yeah, you're right. That's the point where it becomes more than just like a funny, fleeting thing. This virality turns them into this common shorthand. It's like suddenly everyone has this secret code, but it's not secret at all. It's universally understood.
Hmm.
For talking about relationship dynamics, it just allows for really quick communication about these complex things.
Precisely. It became this de facto shorthand, a quick way to explain couple compatibility or just dynamics. And people immediately started drawing parallels to things we already use, like astrology signs.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Or even those MBTI memes, the Myers-Briggs personality types. For anyone listening who isn't familiar, MBTI is like a personality questionnaire, categorizes how people perceive things, make decisions. So just like someone might jokingly say, oh, well, he's a Leo, she's a Cancer, that explains it. Or he's an ENFP, she's an ISTJ, of course.
Right.
People start saying, oh, she's definitely the golden retriever to his black cat.
That's it.
It gives you this playful but like instant way to categorize or understand a dynamic without needing a whole backstory.
It's efficient.
It's very efficient. It's quick, easy, culturally recognizable. It signals a certain kind of push and pull maybe, or a complementary energy in a relationship. It just streamlines talking about complex stuff, you know?
So,
It's a convenient label that instantly brings up this whole cluster of shared ideas and understanding for people who are in on the trend.
okay, so connecting this to the bigger picture then,
Yeah.
it makes you wonder why. Why these particular archetypes? Why do they resonate so much right now in today's dating world? What is it about modern culture or maybe our psychology that makes them so sticky, so widely adopted? It really feels like there's more going on than just, cute animals.
Oh, there absolutely is. There's a deeper psychological thing happening, and it taps into societal currents, too. I mean, these archetypes, they really reflect a very human tendency, don't they? Using humor to describe and maybe navigate the complexities of modern relationships, which are, let's face it, often pretty complex.
Understatement.
Right. Think about dating apps, endless choices, trying to curate the perfect online self, weird commitment lines, just trying to communicate effectively. It's a lot. And in that kind of environment, these labels offer a kind of cognitive shorthand, a playful, funny lens to process it all, maybe even cope with some of the confusion.
Like a way to make sense of the chaos.
Exactly. And they provide this sense of understanding, maybe validation for patterns people see all the time in their own lives, in their friends' lives. If you've ever felt that dynamic, one partner is super outgoing, the other's the quiet observer, these labels give you a shared, funny way to talk about it. A vocabulary for something that might be hard to articulate otherwise, or maybe feels awkward to bring up seriously.
Yeah, it makes it lighter.
It does. It's like a psychological safety valve, maybe. Lets us find humor in our connections, find community and shared experiences. There's definitely a comfort in boiling down these complex emotional realities into concepts that are easy to grasp, especially when lots of other people seem to grasp them too.
And that simplification seems key. You mentioned the relatability.
Hugely key. The simplicity and the universal relatability. The cat versus dog thing is just, it's instantly accessible, right? Across cultures, ages, backgrounds. Pretty much everyone has some basic intuitive grasp of dog behavior versus cat behavior. We think of dogs as loyal, eager, expressive, social. Cats as maybe more independent, enigmatic, but still deeply affectionate on their own terms.
We just know it.
We just know it. It's ingrained. So the metaphor lands immediately. It completely bypasses any need for, like, psychological jargon or complex relationship theory. You don't need a PhD to get what a golden retriever or a black cat partner might be like. It makes these really complicated interpersonal things instantly digestible. Minimal effort, maximum recognition.
And how does this connect to, say, Gen Z specifically? You mentioned meme culture earlier.
Right. So connecting it to that broader landscape of identity and meme culture, especially for younger generations like Gen Z, it functions very much like those astrology or MBTI parallels we talked about. These archetypes offer a playful, very accessible identity framework. It lets people quickly categorize themselves, their partners, the unique vibe of their relationship, all within the shared cultural context. Gen Z, maybe more than previous generations, often uses online trends as a way to express themselves, to build community. Finding other people online who are like, yeah, I'm the golden retriever, or my partner's totally a black cat, creates this really potent sense of belonging, shared understanding.
Finding your people through a meme.
Kind of. It's like, okay, I see that dynamic too. Someone else gets it. It's comforting. It's low-stakes identity exploration. But it's still meaningful, especially for a generation that really values authenticity and figuring out who they are.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about self-discovery and community as much as just describing someone else.
Yeah.
But, okay, whenever you simplify people into labels, even fun ones, There's got to be some pushback, right? If I can't imagine everyone was just like, yep, cats and dogs, perfect.
Yeah.
What kind of critiques popped up?
You're absolutely right. Anytime you try to neatly box up human complexity, you're going to get valid criticism. And it definitely surfaced here. Some people online, quite reasonably, raised concerns that these archetypes were just too simple, that they risk reducing real, multifaceted individuals down to these, like, one-dimensional caricatures.
Flattening people out.
Exactly. The argument being, people are way too complex, too full of contradictions and unique histories to just be slotted into dog person or cat person relationship roles, even playfully, that we risk losing sight of the actual person behind the label. And there were also some discussions, maybe not as loud, but still important, about whether these labels might accidentally reinforce stereotypes, particularly around gender roles.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, the concern was, could it subtly imply that one partner, often maybe the women in heterodynamics, is expected to be the super expressive, emotionally available golden retriever, while the other, maybe the man, gets to be the more reserved, stoic black cat? It raises that question about how our language, even jokes, can shape our expectations in relationships, maybe unintentionally limit how we see ourselves or our partners.
Yeah, that's a really valid point to consider.
It is. But it's also really crucial to balance this with how most people seem to engage with it. While those critiques are important and worth thinking about, the overwhelming vibe was playful. It was self-aware. For the vast majority, the intention wasn't about creating rigid scientific classifications. It was more about, lighthearted self-expression, finding humor, sharing a cultural moment.
Right, it wasn't meant to be Psychology 101.
Not at all. It was a way to poke fun, maybe lovingly tease, find common ground in noticing these dynamics. It was often used to describe the interaction between two people, those complementary energies, more than just defining one person's entire being. Think of it more as a conversation starter, maybe, than a definitive diagnosis.
And that really speaks to how online stuff works, doesn't it? The same memes, the same TikTok duets that made it blow up also became the place where people could have both the fun and the critique. It shows how layered these online conversations can be, laughing one minute, thinking critically the next. Okay, so let's zoom out again, thinking broadly, beyond just cats and dogs. What is it about any of these internet archetypes, like main character energy or cottagecore or whatever the next one is? What makes them catch fire online and stick around, at least for a while? What's the secret sauce?
Yeah, looking at the bigger picture, if you boil down why these things tend to explode online, it really comes back to this potent mix. It's simplicity, it's relatability, often there's humor involved, and crucially, they immediately create a shared language. We just have this fundamental human need, right, to categorize things, to understand the world. And that definitely includes our social world, our relationships. Even if it's playful, these labels give us a ready-made framework, a way to make sense of complex interactions, diverse personalities.
It makes the complex feel manageable.
Exactly. And they offer this really low-stakes way to explore identity. Like, who am I in this dynamic? Who is my partner? And importantly, to feel connected to a much larger group, a global community, often. In a world that can feel pretty fragmented, especially online, finding that common ground through a funny, easy label that creates a really powerful sense of belonging, shared experience.
Like finding your tribe through a meme.
That's a perfect way to put it. It's like this quick badge of recognition. You get it too. And that shared understanding, that fosters a kind of intimacy, doesn't it? It makes the huge, sometimes anonymous internet feel a bit more human, more comprehensible.
That really resonates, the idea of humanizing the digital space through shared understanding. Which brings us to the psychology of actually using these labels on ourselves in our relationships. Even playful ones like black cat or golden retriever, there are more going on there.
Oh, definitely. Even though they come from memes, these labels can have a real, albeit subtle, psychological impact. For couples, they provide this shared vocabulary, right? A kind of internal shorthand. They can talk about their own dynamics in a lighthearted way, maybe less confrontational. Sometimes, honestly, it might even be an icebreaker, a way into deeper conversations about personality differences, needs, compatibility, how you each like to show or receive affection.
So instead of a heavy, we need to talk.
Exactly. Instead of that, it might be a playful, you were being such a golden retriever today, which could open the door to talking about those behaviors, those traits, without it feeling like an accusation. It kind of externalizes it, brings it into the shared space with a bit of humor. And for individuals, too, these labels can be really validating, validating your own experiences, your observations about your partner. If you've always sensed your partner is, like, quietly supportive, loyal in their own way, brings that calm presence. Seeing the black cat boyfriend thing blow up might give you that aha moment.
Yes, that's
Oh,
it.
right. That's it. I'm not imagining it. Other people see this too. There's even a name for it. That sense of recognition, knowing you're part of this wider online community, seeing similar patterns, that builds connection. It validates your lived experience, makes you feel seen.
It's kind of amazing, really, how something so seemingly simple, born out of internet humor, can actually spark genuine self-reflection or give you a new way to appreciate your relationship. It takes something light and almost by accident gives it real meaning for some people. So thinking about the grand scheme of internet trends then, where does black cat versus golden retriever fit? Is it just a blip or is it part of a bigger ongoing pattern we should be watching?
Oh, it's definitely not a blip. I'd frame black cat versus golden retriever as just one really clear current example within this much wider, constantly evolving ecosystem of internet personality archetypes. We've seen so many labels come and go, haven't we? All trying to categorize behavior, identity online. You can absolutely connect it back to previous trends that captured a moment. Think about main character energy.
Oh yeah, that was huge for a bit.
Right. Describing someone living life like they're the star of a movie, or the whole cottagecore aesthetic, romanticizing simple rural life, even earlier, maybe more critical ones like the pick-me girl label. These are all ways the internet tries to define, understand, and sometimes critique different ways people present themselves or interact.
So it's a recurring theme.
It's absolutely recurring. There's this cyclical nature. New metaphors, new labels constantly pop up. They often act like this cultural barometer reflecting what we're collectively thinking about, maybe our anxieties, cultural shifts, changing social norms. They're like a mirror to our collective consciousness, maybe a distorted funhouse mirror sometimes, but still a mirror, letting us explore and grapple with modern identity. So these archetypes, they're fluid, they're always changing. They reflect how we see ourselves and others in the digital age. They give us these accessible tools, even if they're simplistic, to try and navigate identity and relationships online. It's this ongoing, dynamic creation of culture, really, reflecting our endless quest to figure ourselves and each other out. Which I suppose leads us to a final, maybe provocative thought for you, for everyone listening, to mull over. How does this constant search for quick labels for these neat archetypes, how does it actually influence how we see real, complex human beings in our actual offline relationships? Are we genuinely simplifying things in a helpful way, fostering connection, or are we maybe inadvertently narrowing our view, risking missing the messy, beautiful, unique details that truly make someone who they are?
Wow. That is a powerful and, yeah, wonderfully nuanced question to end on, something to definitely chew on. So maybe as you go about your week, you'll start noticing those black cat and golden retriever dynamics around you. In your own life, maybe friends, maybe just people watching. Perhaps you'll have a newfound appreciation for the humor, maybe the insight these simple labels can offer. And yeah, maybe ponder those deeper implications too.
Exactly. It really shows the enduring power of simple metaphors, doesn't it? How they can shine a light on complex human truths, even if it's just for a fleeting viral moment.
Next time on Trending Unpacked, we're heading into the hardware aisle. Yes, Home Depot is trending, and you won't believe why.